Welcome to our presentation. We are here to talk about the proposed improvements at US 36 and State Route 721. I am Amy Havener, the ODOT project manager for this project. In a moment, I'll turn over the presentation to our design consultant. They will discuss the conditions that led to this project, options considered and dismissed, and the benefits of our current preferred alternative. But first, I want to talk to you briefly about how important you are to our ODOT process. ODOT has learned the hard way that public input makes for better projects. The people that use our system every day are alert to details that we may have overlooked, or they have suggestions for how to improve our system that we haven't considered. ODOT incorporates public input into its decision making. We will not make a final decision on this project until we've taken another hard look at our project based on the public comments received and modified our alternative as necessary based on that input. We very much hope you will take the time to reach out to us with your comments, questions, and suggestions. We also hope that you understand that ODOT is under certain constraints. We have to operate consistent with the law. We have to operate consistent with sound engineering and design standards. We have to stay within the scope of the project, addressing safety concerns while maintaining acceptable operations at the intersection of US 36 and State Route 721. And we need to stay within our budget, both in terms of dollars and time. Suggestions from the public that do not fit these constraints probably can't be implemented. But if you don't ask, you'll never know. So give us your feedback. I'll be back at the end of the presentation to offer more details on how to provide feedback. In the meantime, I'll turn this presentation over to our design consultant.
Thank you, Amy. My name is Sonia Summer. I am part of the project design team at Burgess & Neiple. I will be taking you through the project specifics, starting with the need for the project and the safety improvement history. I will briefly discuss the alternatives that were evaluated for the project and how the recommended preferred alternative was selected. To wrap up, we'll also lay out the estimated project schedule. The purpose of the project is to reduce the total number of crashes, especially the high percentage of injury crashes. On the most recent statewide safety ranking list for rural intersections, the intersection of US 36 and State Route 721 in Dark Miami County ranked within the top 100. Its highest ranking was 31 in 2021. There were 50 crashes recorded between 2010 and 2021, with one fatality and 40% of them resulting in injury. As we often see with high injury rates, ankle crashes accounted for 74% of the total crashes. There have been several attempts to improve the safety of the intersection over the years. In 2009, on State Route 721, additional stop signs and crossing traffic does not stop signs were added. In 2013, dual warning signs were added on US 36, and in 2015, a study was completed to review the signal warns and signal flashers. Both were not warranted. The intersection continued to be monitored to see if more robust safety measures would be needed. A feasibility study was prepared for the intersection in 2022, which included 5 alternatives for the project. The first is the no-build or do-nothing alternative. As its name indicates, this option leaves the intersection at its current condition with no improvements. This alternative was eliminated as it does not meet the project need to reduce the total number of crashes, particularly injury crashes. It also found that the intersection will not meet operational standards as traffic volumes continue to grow. The second alternative proposed was adding left turn lanes on all approaches to separate the through traffic from the left turning traffic. This alternative would be expected to reduce crashes, but to a lesser degree than other alternatives considered. This alternative does not minimize the risk of high speed and high angle or T-bone crashes typically that result in injuries. The third alternative proposed was adding the left turn lanes and eliminating the skew of the intersection. This alternative has slightly higher project safety benefits than the left turn lane alternative. However, this alternative would require substantial right-of-way from private property owners, making it less than desirable. The last alternative considered was to install a traffic signal at the intersection. However, for a traffic signal to be eligible for funding, the intersection must meet certain criteria or warrants. When those warrants were evaluated for the intersection, it did not meet the requirements for a signal. Furthermore, studies have also shown that installing a new signal at a previously unsignalized intersection can often increase certain types of crashes, such as rear-end crashes. For those reasons, this alternative was dismissed. The last alternative considered by ODOT is a roundabout. A roundabout is expected to reduce crashes by virtually eliminating high-speed right-angle collisions. A roundabout also provides better traffic flow efficiency compared to the signalized option and requires less right-of-way compared to the intersection realignment. Under this alternative, the project will require some new right-of-way, which is demonstrated by the purple line in the image. Roundabouts reduce conflict points, or locations where crashes can occur, from 32 at a traditional intersection down to 8. The proposed roundabout is expected to reduce crashes by over 75%. Additionally, by reducing speeds through the intersection and preventing high-angle crashes, a roundabout is expected to almost eliminate injury crashes, particularly crashes that will lead to death or incapacitating injuries. The reduced speeds of the roundabout also make it easier for drivers to judge gaps in the traffic that allow entry into the roundabout. Roundabouts will also improve the operational performance at the intersection. During peak hour, drivers on all approaches are expected to experience delays of less than 10 seconds, as shown on the last row of the table. By reducing congestion, roundabouts are also good for the environment, reducing emissions since most vehicles will not have to stop. There are a few simple steps to safely driving through a roundabout. Slow down, look to the left, and yield to vehicles already inside the roundabout. Once in the roundabout, you have the right of way. Keep moving. Exit the roundabout at your desired location. I want to mention that we have posted an informational video on the project website that will give you a visualization on how to navigate a roundabout. We will be sharing the link to the project page at the end of this presentation. A concern often heard in rural areas and those less familiar with roundabouts pertains to farm equipment navigating the roundabout. We take care in designing the roundabout to accommodate the needs of the area. We utilize rolled curb that is able to be traversed by large vehicles, concrete aprons, and reinforced outside shoulder widths, often referred to as blister islands, to handle the larger turning paths. Through traffic on US 36 will be maintained for the majority of construction, but short weekend closures are expected. Additionally, movements to and from State Route 721 will be unavailable at specific times. Through traffic on US 36 will be maintained for the majority of construction, but short weekend closures are expected. Additionally, movements to and from State Route 721 will be unavailable at specific times. The south leg of the intersection will be closed during the first phase of construction. During the south leg closure, the detour will be State Route 48 south to State Route 718 west, then back onto State Route 721 north. The south leg is intended to be closed for approximately 90 days. In the next phase, the north leg will be closed for approximately 7 days. During the closure of the north leg, the detour will be State Route 48 north to State Route 185 west, then back onto State Route 721 south. Access to businesses and local residential traffic will be maintained at all times. ODOT will take comments through July 31st, 2025. That concludes my portion of the presentation, and with that, I will turn the presentation back over to Amy.
Thanks, Sonia. To provide comments via ODOT's webpage, you can scan the QR code to the right. You can also go to our website, which is www.transportation.ohio.gov/projects. In the Search by Project ID box, enter PID 118070 and click Submit. Then on the project page, select the Leave a Comment button. And finally, you can call or email myself or Jared Steggy, the Environmental Project Manager. Comments are requested by July 31st to ensure your comments are considered in the decision-making process. We really hope to hear from you. Our projects are better with your input. We will issue a follow-up announcement of our final decision regarding a preferred alternative after we have had an opportunity to consider comments received. If you were on a previous mailing, or if you provide your mail or email address with your comments, you will be included on that announcement. You can also check back on the ODOT project page. Please understand that our final decision may take several months, as additional research or study may be needed based on the comments received. We want to make the best possible decision. Thank you for your time and interest in this important project.